sweets, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yancy and I'm a professional makeup artist, and also I'm a nail technician. I hope that each one of you are staying safe and healthy. This is a rough time to say the least, but we need to keep on living and to make ourselves keep up with our routine. For today's video, I'm gonna use the Colourpop Going Coconuts. This palette was launched a couple of months ago. It is one of their neutral palettes. This is the color story of this palette. It is mostly neutrals. This could be a everyday kind of palette. It has 9 eyeshadows and also it has a mirror to one of the sides. This is the uni card. It reflects the same thing as the palette, and in the back of it, same also as the palette, we had the names. My thoughts in the palette. Is a really good palette. They are really affordable. Also, this palette, it has 4 mattes, 3 metallics, and 1 satin, and another one, I don't know how to call it because it is a matte shade, but it has little shimmers or glimmers in it. So I don't know where to put that one. I'm gonna do a really quick swatch of them. This one is shredded. This is the one that I thought it was a matte, but when I started applying it in my lid, it turned out to have really small specks of glitter. This one is Palm Reader, and this is Coolada. This is a metallic and this is a matte shade. This is the next row, starting with Lovely Bunch. This is another matte shade. The next one, Cocoa Rush. And the last one of the second row, Shell Yeah. This is another matte shade. The metallics are amazing how these two reflect the light. And the last row, this is the one that I don't know how to in which category put it, because it is the matte one that I said that has glitter particles in it. Get Cracking. The next one is Da Coco. Is another metallic. And last but not least, I'm gonna put it here, is Nutty. This is a matte one, the darkest one of the bunch. So this is the color story of this palette. Really neutral, easygoing, friendly user, and a palette that it could turn out to be your everyday go-to. Now, I used each one of the 9 shadows for the 2 looks that you're gonna see next. As I said, all the mattes has a little bit of kick up, but the one that has a lot of it, it is Get Cracking. I don't know if it was the brush that I used to pick it up. It was a blending brush. I don't know if I use a flat application brush, it would result in not having so much kick up in the pan. But just to make sure, tap the excess before you apply it into your lid and you're ready to go. Also, with this shadow, you will have a lot of fallout in your under eye, but it isn't the pigment, it is the shimmers of this shadow. With the rest of them, I didn't have that behavior. All the other ones they performed really good. They were really easy to blend. They had opacity in each one of them. So I don't have anything else to note it, but that is the only one, Get Cracking. Also, I always use a base to prep my lid. For these 2 looks, I use my Milani eyeshadow primer, as I would normally, regularly, or almost always use. And let's see, that's it. So now we're going for the looks. The first look that you're gonna see, I'm gonna do a voiceover in a couple of parts that the audio wasn't good, but the rest of it, or in the middle or between of it, you will get the explanation of what I'm using and how am I using it. I'm gonna start by using my Milani eyeshadow primer, and I'm gonna blend it with my ring finger all over my lid. Then I'm gonna start with the shade Shredded in this small all over brush, and I'm going to apply it in my brow bone just to highlight it. What I have left over of it, I'm gonna sweep it towards my lid. Then with the same brush, I'm gonna go to the shade Coolada, which I'm going to apply it above my natural crease, and I'm going to press this eyeshadow where I want it to be. Then with an angle brush, I'm gonna go to the shade Shell Yeah, and I'm gonna apply it in the last third of my eye. Firstly in my outer corner, and what I have left over of it, I'm going to apply it towards my crease and going a little bit above the shade Coolada. Now with this brush, I'm gonna start blending the edges of Coolada. It is a clean brush in small circular motions going all over the border of the shadow. Make sure to grab your brush from the ending part of it to apply less pressure, and that will help you blend a lot more easier than if you would take your brush from any other part of the handle. Now to soften up a little bit more, I'm gonna go to the shade Lovely Bunch with the same brush, and I'm going to start blending the edges with this shade. It is kind of a brown beigey tone, so that will help transition one shade into the other. I'm just taking very little of this shadow in the pointed part of my brush, and lightly I'm gonna take it over to my nose. Really softly, because I have this really pronounced area in my eyes and I don't want it to be a lot more pronounced. But in order to hide it or help it diminish a little bit, I'm shadowing a little bit the area. Small circular motions. I'm gonna use the shade Shell Yeah, and I'm going to apply it all over my bottom lashes. Now I'm gonna go to the shade Nutty, which is the darkest one of the bunch. I'm going to intensify my outer corner. I'm pressing it in my outer corner first. And what I have left over in my brush, I'm gonna work it into my crease. Circular motions now to blend a little bit the edges. I'm gonna go with the shade Shredded in my mobile lid with a flat brush, and I'm going to apply it in tapping motions. And to blend everything together, I'm gonna go again with this brush to smooth out any edge that I may have left in the application. Now to intensify my bottom lashes, or to give it a little more definition, I'm gonna go to the shade Nutty, which is the darkest one, and I'm going to apply it really close to my bottom lashes. I'm just going to work it toward the half of my bottom lashes. I'm not gonna go all over. I'm going to tightline my top lashes, kind of the same way that you would do a liner, but I'm not gonna do it in my entire top lashes. I'm just gonna work it towards the half. So I'm gonna start in the middle, working my way towards the end of my top lashes. Make sure to tap any excess of your brush, because this part could mess up your entire complexion, because usually when we do this, there is a lot of fallout. I'm going to define it a little bit better by just going all over it again. Now I'm gonna blend my bottom lashes using one of the same brushes that I use. I'm just pinching the bristles to make it flat, and I'm passing it all over my bottom lashes. Now I'm just going to curl my lashes and apply mascara and do the lips. And now for the second look, which is the one that you're seeing in myself at this moment. I used the rest of the shade that I didn't use in the first look. This is the look that I used, the shade Get Cracking, the one that I said that you have to be careful with all the fall down that you're gonna get from the glitter part of this shadow. Also in this one, you're gonna hear me explaining kind of a tutorial mode which shade I use and how am I applying it and doing the work in my eye. I'm gonna start with my Milani eyeshadow primer and I'm going to apply it and buff it in my entire lid with my ring finger. I'm gonna start with the lightest shade called Shredded and I'm gonna apply it in my mobile lid in tapping motions with this flat application brush just to highlight my brow bone. And as soon as I finish tapping it in, I'm going to spread it towards my lid. Now I'm gonna go to the shade Get Cracking. Make sure to tap the excess because this shadow has a lot of kick up in the pan. And I'm gonna start placing it in my outer corner first, and what I have left over in my brush, I'm gonna work it towards my inner corner or the inner part of my eye. I'm just pressing, 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 pressing. I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to lower it a little bit towards my crease and towards the half of my mobile lid, exactly the same way. The majority of my eyeshadow will be in the ending part of my eye, and what I have left over in my brush is the part that I'm gonna work towards the inner part of my lid. In the same manner, I don't know if you can appreciate, but this shadow has a lot of little shimmers or sparkles all over it. I'm loving it so much. Now with this fluffy brush, I'm going to blend the hard edges or the border of this shadow. I don't have any other shadow. This is a clean brush. Remember that when you want to blend, you have to take your brush from the ending part of the handle, and that would lessen the pressure that you're going to apply, and in result you will get an easier and more smooth blending of your shadow. These small circular motions to buff this color. Now I want to intensify the look, and I'm gonna go to the shade Nutty and I'm gonna place it in my outer corner, really precise. I'm just pressing it first, and what I have left over in my brush, I'm gonna work it towards my crease. I'm going to reapply a little bit more. And what I have left over, I'm gonna work it towards my crease. I'm gonna go to That Cocoa and I'm gonna press it with my finger really near Nutty, overlaying it a little bit. And now I'm gonna go to Cocoa Crush do the same thing. Press it in a little bit near my inner corner, overlaying a little bit that cocoa. And for my inner corner, I'm gonna go to Palm Reader. And I'm gonna press it in, and I'm going to blend it towards my mobile lid and towards my bottom lashes. And now for my bottom lashes, I'm gonna go with the first shade that I started with, Get Cracking. I'm going to apply it all over my bottom lashes. And I'm gonna use the same shade with an angle brush to intensify it a little bit, just in the ending part of my bottom lashes. So sweets, this is it. I hope you like it, and if you did, press the like button. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I really appreciate it. And if you want to get notified every time I upload a video, press the notifications bell. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.